teams, class project teams, teams of doctors, and nowadays all eyes on one team. Yes, Oxford team of scientists working on COVID vaccine. Let me quickly add 80% of Fortune 500 companies have employees on teams. We, the Homo sapiens, can team up across our national boundaries. As Yuval Noah Harari puts it, Homo sapiens in China can team up with Homo sapiens in US. Homo sapiens in the US can team up with the Homo sapiens in France. But the virus in China cannot ask help from virus in France, and so on. We all know that. But do we really team up at the micro level nowadays in the lockdowns? Whether our families worked as teams? If yes, what was it which made them do that? If not, why not? Perhaps some of these questions will get answered on this webinar. On this note, I would like to introduce Colonel Dr. MP Singh. Kindly give me 1 second. Colonel Dr. MP Singh was gold medalist in Master's course in Defense and Strategic Studies. He is an MBA from IIFT, PhD in the field of Strategic Studies and International Relations, qualified Commander Course, Winter Warfare Course. He has been GTO and Senior GTO. Many self-help books are to his credit. He is founder and director of a startup, Emma's Training. We welcome you, sir. Cadets. Thank you. Before handing over the virtual mic to our able leader, Principal Professor Dr. Harpreet Kaur, let me just tell a little about her, specifically to those who are not from our college. She has 22 books, 6 book chapters, several research papers, and book reviews to her credit. It is her able leadership and her positivity which actually shapes all the events like this one. Cadets, may I request Ma'am Principal to share her words of wisdom. Thank you.
Thank you, Govinder. Uh, so, on behalf of Mathusundari College, first of all, I extend a very, very warm welcome to Professor MP Singh, Dr. MP Singh. He will enlighten you on a very, very pertinent topic, and this topic is becoming relevant more and more because of the importance of technology, which has come in forefront right now in this crisis situation. Our NCC team has taken up this credit of starting or doing this webinar, and I congratulate them also and welcome all the cadets also who have put in a lot of effort to make this webinar a success. They have gathered together a lot many people. They have registered. Many people have registered, and so many are going to be benefited from this very, very relevant topic. Now, teamwork, as we all know, is very, very important. And to manage any institution without teamwork, it is not possible. But how to do this, teamwork in this crisis situation when we are locked up in our homes, when we are able to physically connect with each other, we are unable to meet each other, yet we have a desired goal. The goal in front of the teachers is that they want to stay connected with the students, and the students also have the goal that they want to connect themselves with the teachers and get the best of the academic interaction. So, these kind of platforms, whether it is Zoom, whether it is Google Meet, all these have come very handy. Now, all these were there earlier also, But I think we never thought of connecting with on these platforms. And now we are feeling that how easy it is. We are sitting in our homes, but we can connect with each other, see each other, and benefit from each other's, and so on. So it is very important that we are, conversant with these technologies and know them in detail. And I think practice is going to make you perfect, and then the desired goal can be achieved. Now, what is important is that we have certain deadlines also, and for that, the teachers as well as the students have to come forward and work as a team. If your teacher is saying that you have to submit a particular assignment on time, you have to do it, because she has a timeline to follow. So we have to understand that these kind of two-way communication is very, very important, and this is going to carry forward what our institution wants. Basically, an institution wants that we should be connected with the students, and our students should rise in all the situations. So connecting on these platforms is most important. Now, also you must understand that if we meet maybe weekly or daily, or weekly, or after some time, then what is going to happen is that we can share problems with each other, and have certain ideas which is going to make our institution best. So we have to be very, very particular and be conversant. And here, education is coming in with a loud change, with a large change. Now, education basically was not using these platforms so much, but suddenly this change is very huge and very large. Of course, many of us are finding it difficult also to continue doing work in this kind of scenario. But this change is for the future, and we must understand that we have to live with this change. So this is the right time, and now we have plenty of time to understand these technologies and work for the future. So again, I welcome Dr. MP Singh, and also congratulate NCC team for organizing this webinar. Over to Gurvinder now.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for putting some light on the importance of teamwork in this difficult time and guiding our students to work as a team with their teachers. Thank you, ma'am. Now I would invite Colonel Dr. MP Singh to conduct the webinar. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Respected Principal Ma'am, faculty members, and dear cadets and friends. Jai Hind to all of you. On the outset, I would like to convey my thanks to Dr. Harpreet Kaur, the Principal Ma'am, Mata Sundari College, to organize this seminar and give me an opportunity to connect with cadets and students from various colleges all over Delhi University. So I believe most of you who are attending are NCC students, and many among them would be aspiring to see for a career in defense forces. And as ma'am already put in, today it's not only the defense forces which are in the center of team activity. Erstwhile, of course, it used to be. Now teamwork is required in every field. So let's start. I'm going to talk of, I'm not only just going to talk of teamwork. I first learned how to operate in teams, and then I later on in my life, when I was selected to be assessor for the teamwork, to be a kind of read some psychology of teamwork. So that's the time I learned the theory. So in fact, most of my talk today would be more on hands-on experience of working in teams and a little less upon the bookish knowledge about the team. So we'll be talking of teamwork not in the context of working in teams. Today we'll be talking of teamwork in the context of how to increase our output, how to be more effective, how to synergize our output. So let me just take a help of some slides which I prepared for this occasion. Just a minute. Right. So basically, I'll be talking of how to make successful teams and forever. Right. So whenever I talk of teamwork, today the mantra is winners don't do things alone; they do it in teams. So whenever we see people winning, organizations winning, they are the ones who are working in teams. Right. So whenever I talk of teams, I'm reminded of a football match. The time was 1996 and the location was Dehradun. I was a young major and I was made in charge of a team manager of the football team. And we were announced that there will be in September. We were announced that there will be a tournament in November. And by far there were 6 teams who will take part. Now, this is a army level inter battalion we used to call it. And we had the best team. We had the best players. So I was not worried at all. Being a manager of the best team, one is already knows that they are going to win this tournament, hands down. But the only issue was that our best players, the best 5 players, were already playing at regional level and national services level, etc. So they were out. So we said no problem. We have 2 months time. We'll get them back. By the time we got these people back, those especially the forwards and there was one back people. So they all came back, and it was just 2 days for the event to start. But like I was very confident, yeah, this is the team, the best players. So they're good. Individually, all of them were very good. And the only question was that we'll be winning with how many goals? We'll win with 3 goals or 5 goals or 10 goals, and the other teams already started talking in terms of, yeah, don't beat us very badly. We know you got the best players and all that. So we used to be, no, no, don't worry, it's not going to be that bad and all that. And finally, when the finals came, we were pitched with a team which was not so good players, but they were been practicing for last 2 months. And with the best 5 players which I had in my team, who were at national level, at regional level, they were playing. The match started 20 minutes. First 20 minutes, we were -1. Another 10 minutes, we were -2. 40 minutes, -3. And we lost the match with 5 goals. Somebody would be imagining, I'm starting this webinar on teamwork and giving an example that we lost. And I was the team manager. Why we lost? Because we together had not practiced. These top 5 players were best in themselves. They all wanted to score a goal. They wanted to score a goal individually. And if any one of you is watching this football, hockey, such kind of tournaments, you can't score a goal individually. And the other team, they had the only synergy to score a goal somehow. They displayed highest level of teamwork and beat the best team, that's our team, by 6 goals. This was a lesson to me that you may be individually very good, but if you have to win, you have to work in team. The attitude has to change. And so many other times in my life, I thereafter started working on these themes. And of course, the team, the same team, in the next tournament, we won with many goals, of course, because they got a little serious and we practiced a lot. So today, basically, I'll be talking in some little bit of theory and some little bit of examples, and we'll focus more on the practical aspects and less on theory. So let's move ahead and let's talk about what is a team. I'm not here to do a classroom question answer. I'll just come to many definitions, more than 100 definitions of a team. But what comes out glaringly in team is group members and a goal. Team members and a goal. And today, when we talk of virtual teams, a third dimension comes in, and the third dimension is the team members or the team, the goal, and the technology. So over this webinar in our next 30-40 minutes, I would be talking two terms quite often. That is face-to-face teams, that is FTF, I'll be calling them, and virtual teams, I'll be calling them VTs. So FTFs and VTs are the two things which are there in the teamwork. Right. So basically, I'll help you peep into your respective roles as part of a team, as part of group activities in which you participate day to day. Like Dr. Harpreet initially mentioned that this whole business of conducting, webinars and other things involves teamwork. All of you have put in your efforts together. I know I've seen the names of people who have been working together. I know Gurvinder ma'am has been working. I think she's a CTO. Pooja Malik ma'am, Dr. Pooja Malik has been working. Ishleen has been working. And of course, the NCC office bearers, Farheen, Shivani, and Deepa, to reach out to people to organize this seminar. So this seminar today is another example of a good teamwork. So making a valuable contribution to a group activity or a team activity, one must understand three things. One is the group role or the aim or the task, that is the goal, your role in it, and what is the role of other groups, other members of the group. So if I little bit move back, few years back, if we go back to our previous century, when we were kids in the school and college like you, we used to mug up inventions and discoveries, light, Thomas Alva Edison, telephone invented by Graham Bell. Today, we don't hear these individual names. We are using such specialized gadgets, but does these names come into our mind? No. That means the individual work is gone. It is no longer the prime of individual work. Today, when we come in, we talk in terms of teams. We talk in terms of conglomerates. A satellite is launched, we talk of NASA, we talk of ISRO. Chandrayaan is launched. A success here, success there. We talk of companies. And what are companies? They are teams. Big teams divided into smaller teams. Right? So such is the time now. The technology is such that teamwork is necessary. Individual excellences are gone. You will not even believe that, somebody would say, okay, team individual excellence is still there. We have these sports people, winning tournaments, this 100-meter race and all this, Usain Bolt winning this, it's an individual. No, the whole team is working with him. So they are dietitians, they are trainers, they are doctors, specialist doctors who are working on one player, and that makes him win. Right. So gone are the days where individual excellences were there. Today, if you have to organize something, if you have to win something, it is done in the team because of the technology. So if we know that the only way to succeed is through teamwork, then it's very important we know how to participate in it. All of you are NCC cadets, right? You have, in fact, what I believe, a lot of my friends are CEO of NCC battalions, and you people are all been, in fact, even been pulled in to work for this coronavirus pandemic. And this NCC cadets, the young boys and girls, are doing a fantastic job. I keep getting clips on WhatsApp. My friends who are commanding NCC battalion showing me what these NCC guys are doing, NCC cadets are doing. That's a fantastic, phenomenal work put in, all with the help of team. There is a team leader, you are part of the team, and you're working together. So let's learn this. Let's learn this. The whole aim is to learn what kind of behavior goes in, what kind of contributions go in a teamwork, where should we change if we have to win, how does my team win, and the attitude which you see on the slide which I made, if I have to win, my team has to win. If that is the tagline in your mind, if I have to win, my team has to win, then the teamwork is going to reach unbounded successes. The football match for which I gave the example was an ideal example opposite this what I'm saying. Probably the best players wanted to show their best. And that's the reason they could not score a goal. Right. So if any member or any members move at a tangent from the team goal, from the teamwork, then the chances of succeeding are very difficult, are very, very rare. Right. So this I'm reminded of a behavioral scientist Will Schultz. He identified three basic needs when you are working in team. Three basic needs. Now a little bit of theory, and one must know a little bit of theory to when we do the practicals. The first need is the need of openness. When we create a team, what does openness mean? Openness means to be likable. In face-to-face team, it is still fine. We meet, we sit together. Sometimes we like a person's nature. It becomes very difficult in virtual teams. In the coming slides, I'm going to talk especially of virtual team because, all of you are now facing more and work is now going on in virtual teams. So openness, the need to be likable, the need to be part of the team is very necessary when you make a team. And the onus of these three things, I'll come to it slightly later, is going to come on the team leader. The second is control. Control does not mean that every member can control the team. Control means influence. In face-to-face team, it is easy. Let's say you are having a meeting in a staff room. All the teachers are meeting for some work, for some project. Some member wants to say something, raise a hand. Or may talk slightly loudly so that he's heard of. But in virtual team, this influence is very difficult. One must try and give a chance to everyone. That is the control part. The third is the inclusion. Inclusion means ability to get attention. Everybody wants to get attention. Inclusion means not to be ignored. Not to be ignored. Just a very few days back, I also have an institute and we have some faculty members, about 8-10 of them. Because of this virtual closing, we are having very less classes on internet and all. So one day I got a message from one of my faculty members and she felt, she actually was very upfront and she told me, I am feeling ignored. I think you're not having much role for me. Just because as a team leader, I was not able to talk to her or convey that, ma'am, this portion we are not able to, do online. That is the subject which she is teaching. So it is very important to be in touch with your team members. Every team member must feel included in the work which we're doing, right? Let's move ahead with some more practical things. I'll leave this for the time being and I'll move to what do we need? Why do we need teams, right? We need teams because the technology is today very complex, right? Any work we move into, like ma'am also mentioned about doctors, right? There's so many specialists today. Anyone who falls sick, we hardly go to a plain doctor who's MBBS. We all look for specialists, right? So by technology, complex technology, I mean specialists in every field. Then there are two things: individual synergy, energy versus group synergy. Whenever we work together in a group, our responsibilities get distributed and a new energy comes in where that's an energy of motivation, energy of pooling in ideas, and that is called synergy. And that is the one which enhances productivity. And of course, the last part is why we need teams is collective knowledge is more creative. Right. Let's move on to see how we build teams. So this is a little bit of the practical and the theory. I have done this experiments a number of times because when I was part of these selection systems, we have something called as group testing. We create a group and then we observe them perform. And that is part of the SSB, that is in the army. When we are taking in people, the very important aspect we look into, is he a team man or not? Can he be a team leader or not? So we give them various roles as team members and we give them roles as team leaders, and we observe their behavior. And then we correlate their behavior, and then we see who has got what quantum of qualities of a team. Now, whenever I put 5 or 10 people together in a team, this is how they will initially move in, right? The first stage, comes in called exploration stage or the forming stage. Exploration, so everybody is trying to know each other, fathom each other, how intelligent this guy is, what is his likes, dislike, what are his skills. After some time, when the work starts, that's the time we move into a little bit of competition stage. Everybody wants to show his contribution. At times it happens, some people want to show down others. This all happens in competition, right? They want to, आप अभी कुछ नहीं हमने किया, but दूसरा ने कैसे कर लिया? No, I think I can speak in bilingual. A lot of students, I think, would understand. Gurvinder ma'am, is it okay if I speak in bilingual? Or
Yeah, please
yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead.
So,
Please go ahead.
in the competition stage, a lot of negativities happen. Show down others, seek limelight. मैंने इतना सा कर दिया, इतना दिखाया, right? जो बॉस है उसको आगे जाके दिखाना, ये सब competition stage में. कुछ टाइम के बाद जब आपके ऊपर वर्क प्रेशर पड़ता है, this competition stage moves into you realize, oh my God, we are much behind the target. I am trying to show my achievements, but the whole project is behind, and we get a collective wrath. We get a collective wrath. What the hell is happening? You are nowhere near the target. That's the time we move into a cooperation stage. We start cooperating. यार काम तो complete करना है, कोई नहीं, चलो यार जल्दी करो, तेरा कितना रह गया, तू इतना कर ले, I'll help you out. That is the cooperation stage, when team members realize that without the support of each other, we can't move ahead. And the last is the performing stage, when you reach the optimum level, when you cross that cooperation stage and we come into discipline stage. Discipline stage says you have to work diligently, you have to work sincerely. If the other person is not having that much skill, I'm going to finish my work, go to his desk and complete his work so that the project moves forward. This is what a team moves into, right? Every new team moves into this phase. Anybody joining a new institute, a new college, you will have to go into these things. When a new team is formed, a new department is formed, these are the pressure, these are the stages through which it happens, right? Right, let's move here to different roles. Now, each one of you must be part of teams, including NCC बच्चे, आप लोगों की भी teams बनती हैं, कहीं आप games के लिए teams बनती हैं, कहीं और कोई रिपब्लिक डे परेड के आप कैंप्स जाते हो, कैंप्स में आपको एक्टिविटी मिलती है. आई नो ऑल दिस व्हाट थिंग गोज ऑन. सो आपको भी टीम में बनाया जाता है, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज दी जाती हैं. अच्छा, ये 5 स्टूडेंट चेक करेंगे. तो जब आप देखोगे, जब रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज मिलती हैं, अभी आप ऑब्जर्व करो, टेक योर माइंड बैक, राइट, you will find that there are different kind of people who behave differently. Of course, all this will finish by the time the competition stage finishes and the cooperation stage. Then all these manifestations which I'm showing you will be normalized. What kind of people? There are some people who are intelligent but limelight seekers. उनको सब कुछ पता है, but वो जैसे ही अब कुछ करते हैं बोलते हैं देखो मैंने कर लिया, देखो मैंने कर लिया. They want to show. They do and they show. Right, but there is another kind of people, intelligent but limelight avoiders. They don't want to come forward. ठीक है यार, मैंने कर दिया ना, that's been my part, right? Then there are other people who are intelligent but they won't do anything. They'll do at the last minute, so casual. अरे हो जाएगा यार, हो जाएगा. Then there are somebody who are moderate. They're not so intelligent but sloggers. They will search from here, there, everywhere and somehow manage to do their work. Then they are shammers. यार ये लोग कर रहे हैं ना काम, मैं आराम से बैठता हूँ. They see everybody is working, they take a cool time, relax. And then there are impediments. Who are these impediments? Impediments are people जो दूसरों के रास्ते में उड़ रहे हैं. अरे तू क्या कर रहा है, तू तो गलत कर रहा है, अरे यार तुम अपना रोल करो. नहीं, they will move into the realm of this thing of the other person, always trying to create some issue, create a problem. And then there are bullies. Bullies are the ones who don't know anything but they want to bully their way through. जैसे मैं बोल रहा हूँ वैसे करो. And then there is the last kind of category. And let me tell you, these people are identified. When I have been working in teams, we are able to identify from their behavior who is what. We put them into their slot. And the last is indifferent. कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, हो रहा है काम, नहीं हो रहा, हमें कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा निकाल देंगे टीम से, कोई बात नहीं. तो ऐसे लोग भी हैं. But now I'm going to come as a team leader. When I'm got a plethora of people like this, how do I get work from that? Some people sometimes harsh decisions. Some people I may have to remove, request my senior, please remove these members. They are impediments. Impediments need to be removed, right? And contributors need to be retained. Let's move ahead and understand it more. I hope I'm keeping pace with time. Future team. I want to go to talk a lot about future teams or virtual teams, right? The global teams which are going to work. A lot of students of you who are going to, join the various departments of industry, IT, and other industry. Global teams are going to be part of the game, right? So there are some peculiarities in such kind of teams. There are shifting team members. So adjusting to a shifting team member, somebody has gone out, somebody is moving in, your team leaders are changing. A lot of things take place when you are in virtual teams. And the teams are big in number, 25, 30, 50, 100, right? Right, then in the virtual teams also, then there are some members who are not directly involved. They are experts, they are consultants. They also play a role in the teamwork. So one has to know what are these the outer layer of team members who are also influencing my project. And also sometimes it happens that you may be part of number of projects. Keep in mind, and number of projects, number of different teams. So you have to be part of it. That okay, my role in this team is this, and my role in this team is this. This project is at this level. This is at this level. So one has to be continuously updated about it. And the last part of the virtual teams is that uninterrupted communication is a must. When I mentioned initially that virtual teams may members, goal, and technology, these three things play a role, and this is the platform which we are already using. So when you're building a team and it's a virtual team, ensure you have a round-the-clock communication and the platform which is there so that each member can communicate with each other. So I was talking to one of the CEOs of a US-based IT company, and I told him, how does he manage? So he mentioned me a book, I'm forgetting the author. The name of the book is quite funny. And the name of the book is The No Asshole Rule. The No Asshole Rule. He said that I identify the bottommost guy in the previous I showed you. The word which this Harvard professor used is the asshole in the organization. And he says, throw him out. Identify, throw him out. Right. So such sometimes hard decisions to take. And he's a CEO, presently of a very big company. I was talking to him, he didn't want me to name him. Right. And they said, and the book name is The No Asshole Rule. And it became a bestseller. And a book on teamwork. Right. So he says that give little independence. First thing, of course, was a non-performer. Keep removing the non-performers. Second thing he said, those who are performing, keep giving them independence. Give them independence. They should not always look at the back कि ये अभी problem आ गया तो अब मैं क्या करूँगा मेरे को please बताओ. Every member, give him some space in which he can take decisions. Third point he mentioned is when you are creating a team is that have good local managers. Good local managers. That means above every 2-3 people, you have a team leader, local manager like a team leader, 2, 3 or 10 people who also knows more experience, who is able to guide the youngsters. And the last point he said as part of the virtual team, because he was leading a virtual team, he said the cultural match. He said very important to understand cross cultures. So if we have a team, we have Japanese as members, we have some Mexicans, we have some Europeans, we have some Americans. So you must understand their culture, what kind of culture they are, and that is the way you'll be able to connect better with them. Team mindsets, especially in our country, so far we always believed in face-to-face team. Army, I have been part of 30 years in armed forces. We always believed in face-to-face teams, right? And we always felt, yeah, this is a team. And I think the education sector also, barring before this period of Corona, I think it was all of us wanted to be, team means sit together, round table, talk, right? But now the things are changing, right? Now the things are changing. And we never thought that this virtual communication should be able to, make so much difference in our lives. But today we have a different mindset, and this is the mindset today. It is what is needed in teamwork is high quality interaction through effective communication. Right. We have been conducting, myself as part of AMA's training, been conducting interviews and uninterrupted interviews of 1 hour each on Skype and on other platforms, and we found it pretty effective. People earlier talked of when we were talking of people, we want to observe the body language. You can observe the body language also, right? You just have to tell the person to put the camera a little far. You hear him and you observe his body. Everything is possible on the virtual platform. Good teamwork can be achieved even in boundaryless way. It's absolutely proven now. And seamless communication is the key. Only thing now I'm going to talk of is a little difference in our changing of our mindset. And little difference how the team members and especially the team leaders have to start behaving now. It's going to be a little different. Let's talk of terms of how it is going to be different. So this goes without saying, there are two pillars, team members and team leaders. Without this thing, each other, teamwork not possible. If team members decide they're not going to work, no project will succeed. If the team leader is not effective, no project will succeed. So both are, that's why I call them pillars. Both are pillars. Each one has to understand his role. And when the projects fail, if the projects fail, then one has to understand who is the one who is responsible for this. Team member. Let's first talk of team members. Though I'm not going to dwell much upon team members because I feel as NCC cadets or as the faculties who have joined us, most of you are looking at leadership roles, studying in DU, one of the best universities of Delhi, or teaching in DU. You are looking at leadership roles. As NCC cadets, I think all of you must be aspiring to become defense officers in your coming time, or maybe go into corporate world in a senior position, in the leader position. But sometimes a leader is a leader of a small team and he's a member of a larger team. You may be head of a department in a college, you are heading about 4 or 5 professors or lecturers, but you are part of a bigger team on which the principal is the head, right? So every person who is doing teamwork has to have two facets of his personality. That is the team member qualities and the team leader qualities. So every leader is a subordinate. And that's what in armed forces, the moment I am a captain, I am a leader to 100 men, but I am a team member of a battalion where there are 20 captains or there are 10 captains, right? So I'm a subordinate to my boss, I'm a leader to my juniors. So my mindset has to have both these aspects, right? The way I deal with my juniors, I can't deal with my bosses. So one has to understand these two facets of it. So let's see the team member first. So what are the effective and non-effective team members? Right. So effective, positive traits of a team member would be aware about his role. The moment you're part of a team, you should know what's my role. What is my contribution, creative contribution? A very important aspect, mostly ignored, is enthusiasm. As a team leader, you have a team member sitting in front of you with a morose face, मरा हुआ मुरझाया हुआ face. काम वो सब कर रहा है पर उसकी शक्ल हर वक्त मुरझाई हुई है. आपको लगेगा कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. What is the reason? Why this guy is not enthused? Enthusiasm is very important as part of a team member because it is not you. This enthusiasm is contagious. If all team members are enthusiastic, the project will move forward. Diligent goes without saying, helping other members. This cooperation or helping is another very important trait of a team member. And lastly, flexible to adopt. A lot of people are good in their work. I have seen that, but sometimes they are not flexible. And halfway down the line, when you're working on a project, things change and you got to be flexible. Right. Now, in the same way, suddenly the education system came to a stop on 20th March And within 10 days, 12 days, we had to change our mindset. I myself had to learn what is this Google Meet and what is this Zoom. We had to adopt to change. We can't say, यार नहीं मैं तो classroom में ही पढ़ाऊंगा मेरे से ये सब computer हमारी उम्र का नहीं. The best example I'll give you is I was posted in Army headquarters and we had one very senior general. I was this staff officer, Jan Samantha, God bless his soul. He's just passed away. He was 59 years old, and I'm talking of 2010. Now the emails we had just got into 2010, no 2007. He came in, he took over as DG of Rashtra Rifles, and he called his computer operator. He had two laptops and this thing. We had an army connection, we had internet. So he told his person, I'm a vintage of 70s. I want to learn computers. I want to learn this emails. I give you 2 months to teach me. So he got on learning at 59 years of age, a total new concept, and he learned it. And after about 2-3 years, I got posted out. He also got posted out, sir, retired. And whenever I used to log into a Gmail account, I would find his dot green. Sir is online. The moment I say hello, sir, I say hi, Mohinder, how are you? Right. So he picked up. So flexibility is the word. One must be there. Negative traits of a teamwork: bullying others, limelight seeking, जो मैंने शुरू में आपको बताया, indifferent, disconnected from others, members, aloof. These are negative traits. Though it's a personal trait. A person may not be, that outgoing. He may not be extrovert. He may be introvert. But when he's working in a team, it becomes a problem for the team. An introvert person becomes a problem in the team. So he has to change. He has to come out of that, right? And the last one, the attitude, I will only do my part. That, of course, is also a negative trait. So this is about the team member. Now I'm going to talk about the team leaders. This is very passionate about talking on the team leaders. Nearly all men can stand up to adversity, but if you want to test a man's character, give him power, said Abraham Lincoln. And this is very true. The moment you give a person power, you change his colors, change his attitude, right? But the leaders emerge from there. So how would the team leader know better than his team and the commitments and the participation in projects with full partners? If this is the attitude, what Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam said, then we can easily master teamwork. So let's see, how do we master teamwork? What should be a personality of a team leader? All of you attending this are either team leaders or shortly going to be one. And that's the reason probably, your ma'am told me to talk about it. Right. So I said the team leader must have traits of a team member as well as a team leader. So team member traits and leadership traits. So individual traits, these are individual traits all of us must have. Of course, only if we have these, we'll be part of some organization. Professional competence, we must have. Self-confidence, decision-making, good verbal and written expression. These are the 4 individual traits which everyone who will be picked up to be in the leadership role must have. Now come to the team traits. Cooperating, we have already shown you sharing, helping in need, encouraging others. These are the team traits which we must have as a leader also. And leadership traits. What are that? First and foremost is lead by example. Whatever you say to others to do, first do it and show. So I'm reminded of a very, 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 very old example, the petrol to Kala Pahad. So I thought I must narrate this. It'll take about 3-4 minutes. It's about Second Lieutenant MP Singh. I was posted in Uri sector. A lot of you came to know about Uri when the incident of Uri happened, and more of you came to know when the movie came, Uri. But Uri is a border town of India-Pakistan border, and it has got mountain ranges starting. The base of Uri is around 9,000 feet, and the highest peak is something around 15,000 feet. So there was this peak called Kala Pahad. This is about 14,800 meters. So we had a post there, right at the LC or the border. So we had a route which used to go through a Nala, high mountains, very treacherous route, used to get cut off during winter snow, and the people who used to stay there used to be self-contained for 6 months. Now we had just moved in with my battalion from Kota. We had moved into Uri sector, and one of my boss that is a brigadier, he called me one day. He said, "You are just come back from doing the commando course. You are the best of your physical fitness. I want you to open a new route to Kalapahar." Huh? New route? That means, starting from approximately 10, 11,000 feet and going up to 14,800 feet. So I said, right, sir. And I took a small team and they said the distance is not much. You should to reach on top by 2 days. Move self-contained फौज में मतलब होता है 2 दिन का राशन पानी वगैरह सब हम साथ में लेके चलते हैं अपने पिट्ठू में बैग में we have to because we are in the field area and the border area we have to carry our rifles everything. So we planned it out. We did some rehearsal for 3-4 days and we moved on. We had to carry drinking water also. Now, just to tell you, in the Himalayas there are two lines. One is called the tree line. One is called the snow line. Tree line is at 9,000 feet, around 8,000 feet. After that, no, around 9,000 feet. After that, there are no trees, only rocky mountains. And approximately 12,000 feet is called the snow line. Snow line means after this height, the snow never melts. The temperature is so low that the snow never melts. So I took on the patrol. We climbed first about 2,500 feet. We camped there, and next day morning we started. We had our some ration with us, and we had one bottle of water. Now, the moment you're climbing mountain and sheer steep mountain, you sweat. You are wearing woolen clothes because the temperature is 1 degree or 2 or 3 or 4 degrees. It was summer time, 5 degrees, but you are sweating. And when you're sweating, the body is losing fluid and you want to drink water. Approximately 500 meters short of the peak, short of Kala Pahad top, everybody in the team had finished the water and was totally dehydrated, including me. We are all dehydrated. We had the puris, and we had the lunch with us. But how to eat? The mouth was dry. The mouth went totally dry. And we were above that line in which there was no water. Everybody, all the Y patrol, we are all just sitting there now. How to move ahead? And the steepness now was 500 meters, and the steep gradient was 66 degrees. And across we could see the Pakistani post, and they were wondering what is this patrol doing. We were on our side of the boundary. On the other side, because in J&K on the borders, you are face to face. They must be wondering, and they all started moving there. That why is this patrol moving? So of course there was no firing and all, but the danger was there. Now in that situation, now I didn't know what to do. I have to motivate my boys. If they are all tired, I know why they are tired. At that moment, a thought came to me. At some distance, I saw a patch of snow about 100 meters ahead and 100 meters high. Small patch where the sunlight had not fallen, and that patch had remained as snow, around about 1 meter by 1 meter patch. I told my buddy, I said, let's try and go there. We crawled on top. We literally crawled on all fours. Took us about 7-8 minutes. Mouth dry. We reached there. We carried all the water bottles. And this thought came to my mind that can I convert this ice? If I am able to convert this ice into water, our dry mouths will have water and we'll eat something and then reach. I knew it was just about 1 to 2 hours more climb and we'll reach our destination. But how to motivate everyone? So we crawled, we reached there, we saw the snow was very soft. We filled the snow in the bottles of all these 6 members. We came back, we ate our lunch, that puri and suka sabji with snow. When the snow we put into our mouth, it melted and it became water. And believe you me, within half an hour, all of us were rejuvenated and we accomplished the task which we are set for. At times, you have to lead with examples. And when the going gets tough, the tough get going. This has happened, true incident I have described with you. At times, you reach a dead end. That is a test time for a leader. Self-starter is the next quality I've talked of, and being independent. At that time, I could abandon the mission. I had a radio wireless walkie-talkie with me. I could have spoken, sir, with a no-go situation, sir, we are all run out of water, we can't walk, dehydration is taking place, we are coming back. Difficult times make difficult leaders. They say that when the sea is rough, only the rough sea creates good ship captains. Smooth sea does not. Right. So when you are in a leadership role, don't think that everything is going to go absolutely cool, आराम से सब चलेगा. कुछ भी आराम से नहीं चलेगा. हर कदम पे रोड़े आएंगे, हर कदम पे मुश्किलें आएंगी, जिसमें आपका टेस्ट होगा. तो जब आप टीम मेंबर हैं, ये ध्यान रखना कि जो टीम लीडर है वो बहुत प्रेशर के अंडर होता है. तो सपोर्ट हिम. Always be in support of your team leader. Let's go ahead quickly. Now we're just about 5-7 minutes. I think I have to finish by 5. Gurvinder man, I must finish by 5. How much is time?
I think I think you can take another 5 to 10 minutes if you feel like.
Okay, right. So tips for a good team leader now: high personality, integrity, clear vision. So before you start dealing with your team members, understand from your boss or your allotment authority, what is the project? Please understand everything. What is the project? What are my contributions? What do you expect from me? Then come and tell the members, this is what we are going to do. Inspire them into action, focus, enthusiasm. Right man for the right job. It's very important. Right man for the right job. Because I told you there are variety of people under you. So another very important task with the team leader is whom to give what job. That is something which is very important. Follow the rules yourself first. At this I want to highlight this aspect. Welcome disagreements. Most of the time, I have seen the leaders, team leaders of any project, any institution, any company, even as part of army, hierarchy. We don't take disagreements easily. We think disagreement is dissent. Disagreement का मतलब क्या होता है? किसी चीज में आप बॉस से नहीं सहमत हो. आप बोलते हो सर ये ऐसे या मैम ऐसे नहीं. वो बॉस उसको किस तरह से ले लेते हैं, वो उसको बोलते हैं डिसएग्रीमेंट. उसको डिसेंट नहीं लेना कि बगावत कर रहा है. This is very important. In the planning stage, as a team leader, discourage disagreements. In the planning stage, when you're planning a project, ऐसे करें कैसे करें, उस टाइम एनकरेज करो डिसएग्रीमेंट्स को, पर जब एग्जीक्यूशन शुरू हो उस टाइम डिसएग्रीमेंट्स को बिल्कुल एक्सेप्ट नहीं. बिकॉज भाई आपने ही सबने मिलकर माना था, अब हम ऐसे ही चलेंगे. This is something which a team leader has to accept. And if he accepts it, it is very good for the team. Encourage communication, relationships, that is part of it. Balance confidence with caution. Yeah, confidence is good, but caution is also at times required. And last part I want to introduce is groupthink. There's a new term which came in 1970s. Teamwork is being talked of 1940s, 50s. A lot of behavioral work went into the 1950s, decade of 50s. But the groupthink came in the 70s. And I was also quite surprised. There's groupthink. I had made some points on groupthink. Yeah, this is groupthink. Now, what is groupthink? Groupthink is the biggest enemy of teamwork. But what is groupthink? Groupthink is when we reach unanimous decisions. When the boss says, okay, I think we have to decide something and this is the agenda, I feel we should do like this. And everybody says, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल आपने ठीक बोल दिया, बस ऐसे ही करना चाहिए. इसको बोलते हैं groupthink. कि सब ने unanimous decision ले लिया. So what the psychologists, behavioral psychologists are saying, when everybody thinks alike, no one really thinks much. वो जो yes sir जब हो जाता है बिना सोचे समझे कि सर बिल्कुल कोई issue नहीं है, that is called groupthink. And as a team leader, you must not encourage this. Let's say you want to say something, you want to give them a task, and everybody says, ठीक है सर जैसे आप बोल रहे हो बिल्कुल, let's do it like that only. That means there is something wrong in your group. Either they are not thinking, or they think that if they speak something, you are going to get annoyed. Either your image is wrong or they are not competent enough to even think. So, as team leaders, please look into this, that your decision making is not influenced by groupthink. And let's do some. So, personality traits nowadays, I would work as a team leader. I would work important personality traits is, building mutual trust, respect in the team members, understand what that person is facing, what problems is he facing, try to help him in office, outside the office, whatever way you can. Technology may you have to be very smart and good as a team leader. Please adopt to technology. Understand strengths and weaknesses. Another point which I've said in red is setting clear goals. Each team member, it is the duty of the member also to know what is my job, but as a team leader also you should be able to set goals for the team and for the members. That's very important. And last part is skill of listening and understanding the manifestations, especially in the virtual teams. When you are not met people and you're in a virtual team, you are just listening to them. It is very important that team leader must listen to the other person completely. And I found this, the listening ability, the listening skill, lacking in many of the leaders. They just don't listen. Right? The more the senior you go up, you think I should not listen. Whereas the erudite people, the more mature and that I have seen them, they listen a lot. So they develop, especially the virtual teams, if you are having, develop this quality of listening and then speaking or giving decisions. So how does the winning teams happen? Let's talk of the winning teams. सबसे पहले थोड़ा सा do's and don'ts. This is again for the team leaders. Do not rebuke in public. This is don't say. Praise in public and rebuke in private. This is very effective. Personal biases, don't show any personal biases. Don't break rules yourself. Do not show vengeful attitude कि मैं दिखा दूंगा इसने तूने मेरे को ऐसा बोला मैं तेरे को दिखा दूंगा. That attitude is very wrong, not to be displayed. It will not harm you. It will harm the whole teamwork. It will harm the whole project. And don't talk ill of your boss in front of your team members. Even if the boss is breathing very difficult down your neck, you're putting into difficult times, he's very strict. When a team leader starts talking ill of his boss, the members get a very ill impression of the leader. And they feel that their relationship is pretty bad. Even if the relationship is bad, don't show it to your team members. Right? These are all this is what I'm written it here, friends, is with personal examples, personal experiences. Probably you will not find these in books. Very few you may find. So winning teams, what makes one team different from other team? Why one team wins and other team does not? Is it sense of purpose? Approaches they take. A lot role plays on the leader. What kind of leader, what kind of vision does he have? One very important set is the complementary skill set. When you have team members, it's very important to see that they are able to complement each other. If one member is not able to do a job, he's not able to perform, or he's not able to come for some time, is other member ready to take on his job? It is very important. As a team leader, you must see अगर ये member मेरा चला जाएगा कुछ time के लिए, तो मैं कैसे काम, कौन उसके जगह काम करेगा? That is something which need to come. So I'm coming to the end of my talk, and this is the last thing which I want to talk is teams do not last forever. But if you understand the nuances of working in teams, team members and team leaders do. Right? If you understand, you will fit into any team wherever you are, whichever team you're put in. But if you do not have the team skills, you may be put into any team, you will end up creating a problem for yourself. Right, and be a contributing team member, effective team leader, and you'll never be a loser. Of course, it goes without saying, you'll never be a loser. So if you want to know a little more about teamwork, I have written a book called Teams of Tomorrow. All right, you can. It's available on platforms, Amazon, Flipkart, etc. If you want to read in more detail about it, you can read this book. And if you want to send me a feedback, my personal email ID is colmpsingh@gmail.com, and my number is there. It's a WhatsApp number. And lastly, those students who are all aspiring to be defense forces as officers and all, these are our various handles on the social media. We do train a lot of students on their preparation levels, and you can note down these numbers or these social media handles and be in touch. That's it. Any questions, any queries anyone wants to clarify, the students or the faculty members? I'll be too happy to.
Sir, I've sent you the question. I sent you the question.
You send me on WhatsApp? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so there's a lot of questions. Okay. So the difference between shammers and indifferent. Okay, a very good question come from Ayush Verma. Right. So Ayush, the difference is shammers, they do the work, but they do it in an improper manner, do it half-heartedly. They are shammers. Indifferent is they don't even do it. They don't even do it. That is what is indifferent. Right. So both are impediments. Both are impediments. Okay. So sometimes the subtle difference also is shammers are the ones who know how to do it, but they don't do it. And at times, indifferent are the ones who don't really know how to do it. They're real damn, what do you call, dumb. Right. So that could be the difference. Isha, in virtual team and future team is the same. Virtual team and future team, Isha Bansal is the same. And future teams are going to be virtual teams. Future teams are going to be virtual teams. Ayush, Richa, how to make a team member agree with other teammates so as to have a higher productivity as a whole, because at times argument presented by one member equally valid as other, but there's a clash of their ideas. You see, that's what the team leader comes in. If there are argument between the team members on the work front, right, then I would say do not get personally involved. Do not start calling words. It's profession. Keep your personal issues out from the professional issues. The होता क्या है कि जब हम टीम में काम करते हैं तो हम पर्सनल इश्यूज को ले आते हैं, हमारी इसके साथ नहीं बनती, इसको हम दिखा देंगे, ये जो बोल रहा है, जो भी बोल वो गलत ही, इसको डिक्लेयर करेंगे. अगर हर टीम मेंबर इस तरह से करने लगेगा तो टीम वर्क आगे नहीं बढ़ेगा. अगर आपकी डिफरेंसेस एंड आर्गुमेंट्स नहीं रिजॉल्व होंगे तो ऑब्वियसली टीम लीडर विल कम इनटू द प्ले, एंड एज ए टीम लीडर you will find what is more important is your work, and he will also try to focus it. Don't bring in your personal biases. Most of these team arguments happen due to personal likes and dislikes, and not because of professional likes and dislikes.
So,
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
yeah, can we take like two more questions, two most interesting ones maybe?
Yeah, I'll just see. I'm just going through it, and let me just see the interesting ones.
Right.
Most of it are actually related to these differences.
Okay.
They are from students, ma'am. Most of them are from students. I think, yeah, must be students. Only if the team leader becomes biased and takes disagreements as insult into, self-feeling that I am the power and all. Yes, okay. This is another question Mansi Sani is asking, and she's saying if the team leader feels that disagreement, that's what I'm telling the team leaders. Right, that's what the whole purpose is this. Team leaders go wrong when they take disagreements as dissent, and their team will suffer. If the team leaders are taking all disagreements and they don't want, and they only want groupthink, कि जैसे मैं बोल रहा हूँ वैसे कर लो, तो फिर वही जो team leader है वो team को इतना successful नहीं कर पाए. That's what I'm trying to say. And okay, last question, ma'am. If in a team there are more than one having quality of a leader, then how to choose a good one and how one can say another one, because it's there of conditional superiority of many conflicts is, and how to tackle this. This question is not clear. What should be team leader to build trust among the team? What should the team leader do? Which I've already covered. So that's it, ma'am. I think most of the points which I said I've already covered. And any more questions if they have, you can send me. What are the expectations from candidates? So this Hitesh Kumar Bangwara is asking, He's come to the GTO task and what are the things look on the candidate. Actually, Hitesh, this will go out of the preview of this. The GTO task is actually kind of assessing your team behavior, right? So I've been doing that for more than 6 years, and I've probably assessed 13,000 candidates, right? But it doesn't fit into the realm of this lecture today. If I start talking of GTO, then I'll need another 2-3 hours, which Gurinder ma'am will not give me certainly. So this aspect, probably you can talk to me on the social media. I'll be able to explain you in detail there. Shali Dhingra, so many times studied groups and teams. So what is the basic difference between groups and teams? Are the both things the same thing? So either you call it group and teams. I've studied some books, which some books talk in terms of group behavior. Some today the corporate parlance has become a team. Right. Earlier, the psychologically, when you do psychology study, they'll call it a group, right? And what does a group consist of? Members and a goal. And when this thing, the concept came into this corporate field, they started calling it team. That is the only difference. Right, ma'am? I think I've almost answered all the questions. And anything else you want to know? Okay, one faculty member has asked. Yes, very good question asked by Jolly Singh. And he's saying how to cope up with failures. That is a very important. I also coped up with failure. First point of coping up with failure is accepting failures. First point to cope up with failures is accepting failures, and that is where we don't. We falter, all of us. We don't accept failure. बोलो हमने तो सब ठीक किया था, पता नहीं हम क्यों फेल हो.
Actually,
मेरे को बड़े स्टूडेंट्स, मेरे कई स्टूडेंट्स हैं जो एसएसबी जाते हैं, वहां जाके फेल हो जाते हैं. कई पास तो बहुत होते हैं, कई फेल भी होते हैं. तो जो मेरे को स्टूडेंट फोन करता है कि सर I did my best, I think I did everything right, sir, I don't know how I failed, I can make out this person will never pass again. So first thing to cope up with failures, firstly accept failures. Number two is identify the reason why you failed. List out. Don't look at others and compare. Third part, don't compare. Each one is own. The moment you are able to accept a failure and list out the reasons for it, 50% of your success is assured next time you go. Because now you know why you failed and you will work on those. So the first step of converting your failure to success is identifying, accepting, identifying the reason, and working on the reasons to not to repeat that failure. I failed in that football match with the best players. I worked on them. I told my boss, I'm not going to let these players go and play the regional level if they will bring defeat to our name of the battalion. He says, okay, I will not send them out. I said, next tournament is after 6 months. These guys will not go anywhere. And next time we won the tournament. Because I knew the reason, because we did not practice together. That is why we failed. So accept the failure, identify the reason, work on the reason, and that's it. Success. Any more questions are coming in? Right, ma'am. So I think it is already time also, 5:50. It's time to end. I would actually just before I end, I would like to also convey my thanks to all the team members who have helped in organizing this whole seminar. Special thanks to Principal Ma'am. After that, Gurvinder Ma'am, Pooja Malik Ma'am, Micheline, and also to these office bearers of NCC, Fareen, Shivani, and Deepa. And I think we've had such a nice gathering of 179 people. And I hope something of what we spoke leaves the impression and you all achieve success. Thank you very much, ma'am.
may I request Ma'am Pooja Malik to extend a vote of thanks.
Thank you, Gurvinder. Thank you so much, sir. It is my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. And on behalf of my NCC team, that is 2 Delhi girls detachment, and Mata Sundari College, I extend a very warm and hearty vote of thanks to Speaker Colonel Dr. for conducting this engaging and enlightening webinar. We are thankful to you, sir, for taking out your valuable time from your busy schedule. I would also like to mention our deep sense of appreciation for your work, sir. I also wish to express my gratitude to our principal ma'am, Dr. Harpreet Kaur, for providing able guidance and support. I would also like to thank Mrs. Charanjeet Kaur, who has always been there for our NCC team as a mentor. A very big thank you to ANO Dr. Rajiv Singh and ANO Dr. Sanjay Sharma for joining us in this webinar. I also take this opportunity to thank all my faculty members of Madison College for supporting and encouraging us throughout this journey. I'm also very grateful to CPO Gurvinder Kaur and Mrs. Ishleen Kaur for organizing this event with such enthusiasm and perfection. I have to congratulate all the participants for their active participation in this event. As no program can become successful with a single person, so I extend my big thanks to our NCC students who have all helped their teachers, and they have really worked hard, and they have been the backbone of this show. And these are our own cadets. SUO Fareen, that is Senior Under Officer Fareen, Junior Under Officer Deepa, and also Junior Under Officer Shivani. Once again, a big thank you to all of you for making this talk, a webinar, a success for us. Thank you, each one of you. Thanks a lot. I think we can close.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Pooja Malik. And a very big thank you to our eminent speaker, Colonel Dr. M.P. Singh.
Thank you all of you.